So today we will discuss about entities. What is entity? Entity is a table in the database, right? So when we create a CRM, for example, we have created a trial instance or licensed instance. CRM will provide some default entities. So what is the purpose of this entity? Why we need entity? First of all, what is entity? We know entity is a table in the database. What table do? It will store the data in rows and columns. Okay, table will store the data in rows and columns, where rows are records, columns are fields, which contains the data. Now, for example, when I open account, a new account, or I'll be in the same screen, account screen. Okay, you can see the data here. We have rows. Rows are the records. Columns, account name, main phone. These are the fields, right? When I click on new, it will open a new form where we can enter the data to save the data in the database. How the record will save in the database? In the table. Table is placed in database. Okay, so records are rows and columns are these fields. Account name is a field, phone is a field, fax is a field, website is a field. So in every entity, we will have different types of fields. All the field will have data. The data will be stored as a rows in the table. Okay. So now we know what is entity, what is the purpose of entity. The purpose is to store the data. Then we'll see how to create the entity, how to create an entity. Then we'll discuss what types of entities. So how to create entity? So entity can be created in two ways. One is in solution, in custom solution. Second way is in default solution. So what is custom solution? I will clearly discuss about the solution topic, but I will just tell you what is custom solution and what is default solution. A custom solution is something that we will create as a new solution for the project implementation. When you start a project, real-time project, all the component that you will create in the solution. By creating new solution, you will add all your component. So that is your new solution, or you can call it as a custom solution. Then we have another type, that is default solution. So when we create a CRM, we have these entities, right? Account, contact. These are not custom entities. These are the system entities that Microsoft has given along with the CRM. Account, contact, lead, opportunity, all these are the system entities, and it have its own functionality. So when I enter the data, when I click save, the record will get saved automatically in the backend, right? So the process they built to save the record, when we hit the save button, this process is already exist, and this process is being created by Microsoft, and they provided as a default feature in the CRM. So this default feature is all the default entities. Default entities means all system entities, all system component, I would say, all system components that comes along with CRM are stored in default solution. So we'll create entities in the default solution today, and we'll discuss custom solution in next classes, and then we will create entities in the custom solution as well. So how to navigate to default solution? Click on setting icon, then advanced settings, then customizations, and then customize the system. How to navigate to default solution? Click on setting icon, advanced setting, customization, and customize the system. Let's do that. Okay, now I have the CRM. Click on settings icon, advanced settings. So when you click on advanced settings, it will take you to the another tab. Okay, from advanced setting, what we have to do? Customizations. Okay, under settings we have customizations. Under customization, customize the system. So when we click on customize the system, a default solution will be opened. So what is default solution? If in interview, if someone asks what is default solution is come along with the CRM, and all system component will present in the default solution. Okay, so when you open the customize the system, you will see the solution name as default solution. So when I click on entities, you see all these entities are the system entities. So now we have to create a custom entity. Okay, just click on new, click on entities, click on new and entity. So it will open a page where we can create a new entity. So while creating new entity, we have this display name, plural name, name, and ownership. So I will give the name as display name as mm, so what we will give the entity name, for example, students. Student is my entity. Students is my plural name. Okay, and ownership is user or team. So we have two types of entities are two types. One is user or team, another one is organization. What is this user or team and organization? Now, for example, user or team, when to create user or team, when to create organization. Okay, so user or team, let's say if you get a requirement, you want to provide entity access to all users in CRM. You want to restrict entity access to users in CRM. You want to restrict entity access to some users. And here You will create organization entity. You want to allow entity access to all users in CRM. What it is mean? Let's say when I log in here myself CRM demo, when I go and click on owner, and if I see here, I can see all the records. Okay, I can see users, and I can also see teams. Okay, because I have system admin. But when I open it from different user, that Radhaya's user, and this user have sales manager role, and even if the user have sales manager role, he can also see all the users, and he can also see all the teams, because this entity this entity user entity is created as a organization entity. Okay. Example is user entity. What is the purpose of creating user entity as an organization entity? Because I want to see every employee has to see who are working in their organization. So if we are all working in one company, so when you search in the teams, you will get the details, because you will have the user access. You can read all the users in your organization. You can, by entering their name in the teams or any other portal, you will get the details. Even the employee is part of Indian employee or outside of India, you will have permissions to view their record. When to create user or team? Now, so I have accounts here. For example, I have these account records. Now, out of this, for just consider, out of we have 100 accounts, or we have 1,000 accounts. Okay, and this thousand along among this 1,000 accounts, 500 accounts are created in Indian customers, and 500 accounts are created from outside of the India. Then now you need to restrict this account. So when a user from US or Canada or UK, when they log in into CRM, they have to see only their accounts. And when a user log in who is from India, and he needs to see only the Indian accounts. So here you are restricting the access, right? Here you are restricting account access for some users. In that case, you need to create an entity of type user or team. Okay, and example here is account and contact, and we have other entities also. I'm just giving one entity as an example over here. Okay, so now I want to allow student data to visible for all the users. In that case, I will select organization. Okay, so where to place this entity, sales or service marketing? So let's select sales. Just click on save. So when you fill all this data, when you click save, an entity will be created in the backend. You don't have to write any code, you don't have to write any expressions to create an entity. You just have to navigate to default solution and provide the details of entity, and then just click save. The entity will be created. now the entity is created. So we'll see how we have enabled it to show it in sales, right? Now we have saved the entity. So to publish in the CRM, to to make this entity available in the CRM, you have to publish. So always remember, when you do any changes in the CRM, you have to save and then you have to publish. Otherwise, your changes will be saved in the solution, but your changes will not publish to CRM until unless you publish the change that you made. Okay. Now let's publish this change, and then we will see how this entity is created in the CRM. Okay, let's go back and always use. So when you click sales or customer service, use this app, because here we will not get that. Let's refresh and try. So here it's not available. It will be available in the Dynamics 365 custom. So I will also discuss and I will also show you how to enable the entity in different apps. But as of now, we have placed the entity on the sales. So when you place it on sales, if you want to see that, you have to access the custom application. So as you can see here, when I scroll down, the student entity is available. When I click on the student entity, when I click new, so I'll see this screen. Now I have to create fields. We have created entity, and now let's talk about fields. What is fields? Fields are columns which will store the data, right? We want to create, we have different types of fields that we will create. What is that? Single line text. Then we have multiple line text. We have two option. We have option set. We have multi-select option set. We have date and time. We have currency, whole number, decimal, and then floating. And what else we have? We have lookup, and then we have custom. Okay. These are the field types. Okay. When to create single line text? Like when we have to create name, email, mobile number, we will use single line text. When to use multi-line text? Then we have to add comments, description, description, or when we have to provide address, then we will use multiple line text. When to use two options? Yes or no, true or false, male, female. Like so, in that case, we will use two options. When to use option set? Show list of options, like drop down. Multi-select option set. So in option set, it what it will do, it will show a list of options as a drop down. Multi-select option set is also show list of options as a drop down. But what is the difference? So here we can select, we can select one option, whereas here we can select more than one option. Clear? When to use date and time, like date of birth or some date. When to use currency, salary, fee, amount. In that case, we will use currency. When to use whole number, okay? When to use like total subjects or total uh, count, then we will use whole number. When to use decimal numbers, decimal or floating are which have the dots like 12.5 like this. When to use this as percentage, floating also same. When to use lookup, lookup is to show one entity data in another entity. So here, when I open this account, I have account and contact, right? So for example, I will navigate to account, contact. When I click new, there is a field called account name. So when I click on account name here, I can see the data. I can see these data, and this data is coming from account. Okay. So how it is coming? The field type is lookup. What lookup will do? Lookup will do one entity data in another entity. And what is customer? It is also a lookup, but it will show two entity records in one field. What is this two entity records? Accounts, contacts. Now I'll tell you. So this is a customer lookup. When I click account and contact, right? So when I open anything, for example, I will go back to account, new account. You see parent account. It shows only from accounts. Clear? Primary contact. It will also show only contacts. Right? If you see here, this lookup is showing the data from contact entity in account screen. When I go back to contact, when I click new, here I will see account name as two different entities. One is accounts and one is contacts. Which is this field type is customer. Okay, let's create some fields. I'll navigate to the entity that is created. Click on fields. Just a second, please. Okay. Now I will create. There is a name field that will automatically create along with the entity. So I will skip the name and I will create email. You want to make this field required, you will select required, single line text, save and close. I will create another option. Then give enter. Here I will select two options. I will edit it just to make no to female. Here I can add more options. It's just two options. Yes or no, male, female, true, false. Like I will create another field. Extend address. I will select multiple line text. Create. Now I will add create date of birth. What I will make this field. Date of birth is date and time. And then I will create new field. This time I will create dual fee. I will select currency. I will add. So you see the floating it start minimum value as 0. Okay, it doesn't have negative values 0.00. When it comes to decimal, it will start from minus values and maximum values, and also it can have more precisions. What is precision? Dot 00. So since it is 2.00, when I change it to 3.000, when I change it to 5.000, whereas in float number it will have only two precision, and we can change it to 5, and it starts from maximum value as 0 and minimum value as 0, maximum value is 0. In case of decimal number, it will start with the negative values to positive values. That is the difference. I will not create any field because there is no requirement in student able to create decimal floating number. So I will create a different field. I will give a field name. So what will we give? I will like I want to see account data. Or instead of account, I will say product. As of now, I will just make this. I'll just save and publish. Now I have created this field. Now if you go back to the screen and refresh, does this field will reflect on the form? This field will not reflect on this form, right? click on students, click on new, fields are not reflected. So what we do, we have created the field, but we haven't placed the fields on the form. So let's navigate form. We discuss about the form type. So the form that we are seeing here is main form. Open the main form. Name is there by default. I will add email. Just drag, see the red layer you want to drop. You see the red line, just drop it. Double click it will place. Registration address, drag, drop, and we see. Okay, these are the fields that we have created. Now just click on save, publish. And now I'll refresh. Refreshing. Can see this the fields that we created is placed. You see there are some fields are marked in red asterisk and some fields are not marked in red asterisk. What is mean? So we have selected some of the fields as a business required. Required fields are mandatory. If I don't fill a date, I click save, I get error on these three fields only because if the fields are mandatory, mandatory fields should be filled in. And now what I do, I will create other field, new field. I will give the name as city. Here I will write as a drop down. Only these fields. Options. Then I will create another field. I will create. I want to show customer list. And here is like customer. Here I will now add it to business recommended. Optional is which doesn't have any. This is optional field that doesn't have any identification. Required fields will have the identification. We'll see what it will have for business recommended. Okay. Now we place these two fields. One is customer, just drag and drop, city, save, publish. Refresh. I click the drop down. Then I click customer lookup shows two entity data. What is that? Content. Now if you see here, we have three requirement fields. One is optional field that doesn't have any identification. One is required field that have red asterisk, and other field requirement type is recommended, business recommended. So which is not an optional field, not a required field. This field is recommended by system that field should have the good to have the value. Not should. This field is good to have the value. Now, you see the fields are placed one by one. If I want to place one of uh, like in two format, name, email, gender, date of birth, like that. So we can customize this. So where fields are placed in forms. Forms will have tabs. Under tabs we have section. Under section we have fields. This form we open form. Form will have tabs. There is a tab. This form have general tab. The highlighted tab is a tab. The highlighted you see this red one. And I click down. It's highlighted the below one. And I click on top. This is highlighted. This is a tab. How to check this? We can change properties. You will see it as a tab properties. When I select the bot just below to that, change properties, it's section. Form, and form we have tab. The tabs we have section. Under section, the top general, second one, and this fields. These are the fields. Okay. Now we will format this section. Select the section, change properties, go to formatting, just add two columns. We'll place like this. Okay. And then we will save. Now we'll refresh. Refresh. Now you see the format is changed. Okay. Now what we'll do? Let's quickly add one another entity, new entity called courses. We'll also place it as space. Now what I will do, I want to add this course field as a lookup field in the student table, student entity. So that's why adding the student table, I can select the course. Let's create this entity. And then now entity is created. I will open this entity. So we have open. I will create new field. Course. I will create a lookup. So when I set lookup, which data I want to show in this lookup in student entity, course data. select course. Same course. Course. Save, publish. If you want to refresh it to multiple times, just do control F5. One refresh will get all the publications. So when I click course, I don't have any data because new entry. I'll just go into course. I will create some courses. I have created 3 records. Let's go to students. New. You see, the records are displaying because the course lookup will target the data from course entry. When we select create a customer lookup, it shows the data from entity.